The evening started like any other high-profile gathering in the entertainment world. Sam Heughan and Caitríona Balfe had both been spotted earlier in the night at an exclusive industry party in central London. It was meant to be a rare night off from the pressures of filming and public appearances, a chance to reconnect, laugh, and enjoy the company of friends. Attendees recalled seeing them arrive together, both dressed impeccably. Sam in a tailored midnight blue suit, Caitríona in a sleek black dress that caught the light with every movement. They posed for a few photos with other guests before disappearing into the crowd. The atmosphere inside. Inside the venue, the mood was electric. Music pulsed softly in the background, glasses clinked, and the scent of fine cuisine drifted through the air. Sam was seen chatting animatedly with a small group near the bar, his signature easy charm on full display. Caitríona floated from one conversation to another, effortlessly engaging with everyone she encountered. But according to several guests, the drinks were flowing generously, perhaps a little too generously. Multiple eyewitnesses later told reporters that Sam appeared more relaxed than usual, laughing loudly, leaning into conversations, and refilling his glass often. Caitríona, too, was said to be sipping champagne throughout the evening, though not nearly as heavily. The decision to leave. Around midnight, the crowd began to thin. Some guests had early morning calls, others simply wanted to avoid the paparazzi waiting outside. Sam and Caitríona, still deep in conversation, decided to leave together. A few friends reportedly urged them to take a car service, but Sam insisted he was fine to drive, a decision that, in hindsight, would prove devastating. Moments before the crash. Security footage from nearby streets, later reviewed by investigators, showed Sam's sleek black car pulling away from the venue. At first, everything seemed normal, steady speed, smooth turns. But within minutes, witnesses along the route described seeing the car drift slightly in its lane, brake suddenly, and accelerate again. One passerby later told a local newspaper, "It wasn't swerving wildly, but you could tell something wasn't quite right. I even thought about calling it in." The impact. The crash happened on a quiet stretch of road just outside the city center. According to the police report, the vehicle struck a lamppost before skidding into a barrier. The sound was loud enough to wake residents in nearby flats. Emergency services arrived within minutes. Paramedics found Sam conscious but disoriented in the driver's seat, with minor cuts and visible bruising. Caitríona, in the passenger seat, had a noticeable head injury and was holding her side in pain. Rushed to hospital. Both were immediately taken to a nearby hospital under emergency protocol. Fans who happened to be in the area recognized them as they were being wheeled in and quickly began posting to social media, sparking a wave of concern before any official statements were released. One witness wrote on Twitter, "Just saw Sam Heughan and Caitríona Balfe brought into St. Mary's Hospital. Hope they're okay, looked shaken." The news breaks. By 3 a.m., several tabloid outlets had picked up the story, though details were still scarce. Early headlines were cautious, focusing on the fact that the two Outlander stars had been involved in a serious car incident. But as the night wore on, the rumors started to shift, and by sunrise, the phrase, "drunk driving," was already appearing in speculative reports. In the early hours after the crash, St. Mary's Hospital became the center of a quiet media frenzy. Security was tightened, with only essential medical staff and close family allowed into the restricted wing. Sam was treated for a mild concussion and a fractured wrist. He remained alert but was described as visibly shaken by those who saw him. Caitríona's injuries, while not life-threatening, were more serious, a deep cut on her forehead requiring stitches, and bruised ribs that made even shallow breaths painful. Doctors kept both under observation for several hours, not only for physical injuries but also to monitor for signs of shock. The official police statement. At 9:15 a.m., the Metropolitan Police released a brief but explosive statement. "We can confirm that a single vehicle collision occurred at approximately 12:42 a.m. on street name The driver, a 45-year-old male, was arrested at the scene on suspicion of driving under the influence. Both the driver and a female passenger were transported to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. While the statement did not name names, the timeline and details made it clear who they were referring to. By the next hour, every major news outlet had confirmed it. Sam Heughan had been taken into custody. The arrest and release. According to police sources, Sam was processed at the scene but released on bail after providing a blood sample for toxicology testing. Legal experts quickly weighed in, explaining that in high-profile cases, results could take days, and public pressure could influence the Crown Prosecution Service's decisions. His legal team remained silent, but a representative issued a statement later that day. Mr. Heughan is cooperating fully with the authorities and wishes to express his gratitude for the swift response of emergency services. His primary concern at this time is the health and recovery of Ms. Balfe. Caitríona speaks. Caitríona's camp released a short, measured comment that afternoon. Caitríona is recovering in hospital and wishes to thank fans for their support. She will not be making any further statements at this time. Some fans read it as neutral and professional. Others felt the omission of Sam's name was telling, a sign, perhaps, of frustration or disappointment. Fan reaction. The fandom's response was immediate and polarized. On Twitter, hashtags like #StayStrongSam and #JusticeForKate trended side by side. Some fans defended Sam, pointing to his long history of professionalism and charity work. Others were deeply critical, citing the risks of drunk driving and the fact that Caitríona had been injured. Posts ranged from, "We all make mistakes, he's human. Let's support both of them through this," to, "No excuse. This could have ended tragically. I've lost so much respect." The media frenzy. By evening, paparazzi were camped outside both the hospital and Sam's London flat. Talk shows debated whether this was a one-time lapse in judgment or part of a deeper personal struggle. Some outlets dug up old interviews where Sam had discussed the pressures of fame and hinted at periods of burnout. Rumors swirled that the pair had been arguing earlier that night, though no credible source could confirm it. The story had become bigger than the crash. It was now about their friendship, reputations, and the future of their careers. Industry impact. Behind the scenes, network executives were scrambling. Both Sam and Caitríona were scheduled for multiple promotional appearances in the coming weeks. Contracts were reviewed. PR teams strategized how to limit damage without fueling more speculation. One insider was quoted anonymously saying, "They are both pillars of the Outlander brand. The last thing anyone wants is for this to overshadow years of work." The quiet aftermath. 2 days later, Sam and Caitríona were discharged from hospital separately. Sam was photographed wearing sunglasses and a cap pulled low, ignoring shouted questions from reporters. Caitríona left through a side exit, assisted by a friend, and did not acknowledge the cameras. As of now, both have retreated from public view. Their next moves remain uncertain, whether they'll address the incident together, separately, or not at all. Closing reflection. The crash has left more than physical scars. For fans who had long admired Sam and Caitríona as icons of professionalism and loyalty, the incident is a jarring reminder of their humanity, flaws, mistakes, and all. Whether the damage to reputations can be repaired will depend on what happens next. But one thing is certain. The image of flashing ambulance lights against the dark London streets, and the sight of two beloved stars being wheeled into a hospital, will not soon fade from the public's memory.